Going on?
How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Pretty good. We just played a little golf today.
Sick. When did you buy your first Rolex?
My first Rolex, bro, I was married. I got married young. I was married at 28. And when I bought my drilling company in Nevada, I never operated a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week business. So when you put a drill on a property, it's two 12-hour shifts. So it turns 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And 1 year after I bought the business, I scaled it up from 2 drills to 6. And when that happened, my wife left me because I just worked all the time. I ended up buying a plane, becoming my own pilot, flying up and down the West Coast. And I was just like, I literally worked 24 hours a day. And so I got a divorce and she took everything, right? She's a real bitch about it. And that's when I was in a house completely empty. All I did was work. And I was like, I need a fucking Rolex to let people know I ain't no broke ass. And so that was when I bought my first Rolex. I was about 28, 29. And I since have given that Rolex to my cousin. And he hit a phase in his life where he was kind of going through some shit and he stumbled. And he needed that on his wrist to remember who he was, like I did at that time. Sometimes you need like symbols, you know what I mean? I got the Joker rolling on right now, but like you need symbols to let you know your like place in the pecking order, you know what I mean?
So buying a Rolex isn't about showing off.
Well, it communicates something for sure, but for me, it's more about like it puts me in the moment. It like makes the moment real. Like so, like when you pull up to a restaurant in a nice car, it just changes the moment of the restaurant, right? It's like that.
Oh yeah. So you made $20 million with American Kitchen Company. How
Yeah.
did you do it?
So we're we're at year 5 now. And for the first 3 years, so the first year, I made $1 million, right? In the first year. The second year, I made 3 million. Year 3 was at like 4 million or 3.8 or whatever. And I didn't take any money off the table. I just reinvested it. And if you live whereabouts do you live?
Vermont.
Okay, I'm in the Bay Area here. And so if you live in the Bay Area, you've seen my face. And the reason for that is for the last 5 years, I spent about $50,000 every single month on television advertising. And so those first 3 years, I just reinvested all the profits. And now we do about 20 million a year. Actually, this year we'll probably do a little less than 20 million. We'll do about 18 million. And yeah, just how did I do it? That's the lot, that's the technical, but really, how do I do it? Because everybody wants to be me. All right, work for free for 3 years, and every single day you are all in. Your house is fully mortgaged. Every single dollar you have, you gamble it every single day, and that's how you be me. And you do that for about 3 years, and if you survive, you'll be the richest person you know, because there's nobody now. I'm 43. Like I'm a middle class guy, right? So, but I'm the king of the middle class guys. So like out of all my friends, all the like doctors, like all the successful people I know, I'm much more successful than them. And the only level above me is high class. So like guys like with 100 million or, and maybe I'm striving towards that. Right. But that really has more to do with other factors than your work ethic. And, so.
What's it like owning a private jet?
I wasn't a jet. It wasn't a jet. It was a Cessna, single engine Cessna. And I bought it first and I learned to fly it, which is a weird way of doing it. So I bought it. It was about $150,000. So it's not a lot of money. And the thing with those is the drilling company was in Carson City, Nevada. So I had to park it in a hangar. So I parked it in Minden, and it's a lot of money and upkeep, and flying it is something, looking back, it really shows you how fucking batshit crazy I was in my 20s, because I should not be flying a plane. I don't have the demeanor. I was just fucking wild. I was just a wild kid. You know what I mean? Should not be up in the air flying that thing. It's not my, you know what I mean? That's like a type of guy. That's not who I am. I'm surprised I didn't kill myself in that thing.
All right. What was the first business you ever started?
You know, I'll say, like, what's my first hustle? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The first time I like hustled. First hustle. So I'm from a very small town in Canada. Currently live in California, but I'm from a small town in Canada. And there was only one place to get a job, was like at McDonald's, and McDonald's didn't hire me. And so what they did in this town for like all the alcoholics and the homeless and just like the bums, this is Canada, there was like a community place for all like the losers to meet. And they had job boards, like little jobs. There's like a board of like little jobs for like just bums to do, like cut a guy's grass for $20. It was a community job board. And what I did at 15 years old, I walked in there and I ripped all the jobs off the board, put them in my pocket, and I just called all the people. And I would get the job, and then I'd call my buddy. You know, like, this is like, you know, you're talking about 15-year-old kids who don't even have cars. So like $100 is a lot of money. I'm like, hey, dude, go clean this old woman's blinds. I'll give you $100. And I would charge her $300. And that was like my first little, like, you know, realization that I'm kind of like in charge, right? I'm going to do whatever I want, and everyone's going to work for me. And then I've had tons of other business, you know, everything's been a version of that, right?
Okay. Should young people go into real estate or the stock market?
Neither. Both of those things, you need some money, right? And if you're young, you don't have any money, right? So you just need to shut up and get to work. And I don't care what you do, clean dog shit, doesn't matter what you do to get the money. But you got to stop lying to yourself. Like, I'm going to do this. Like, at the end of the day, how much money did you get today? Like, literally look at your day. Like, how much money did you put under your mattress in a day? And if you can stack up like 10 G's, then you should, once you learn how to do that, that's like, I know a lot of guys that can do that. Now go bet it all on a bet on a horse, bet on a game, bet on something, bet on yourself. But learning those two moves, because I know lots of guys that can do the first move, right? They've got good jobs and they're safe, but never in their life, they'll always make an excuse why they won't go all in. Like, oh, I didn't do this business deal because of my wife. Like, there's always a reason why you're not successful. And it's usually those two things, right? Sorry, my phone. Inability to save money because of some bullshit reason. Oh, I can't, like, you know what I mean? Like, work at McDonald's, like, work 5 jobs. Like, I don't fucking care how you do it, but you're going to have to save money, and then you're going to have to invest it. And then once you get to the point where you can, like, you know, start investing, let's say like 50,000, that's when you should go into real estate and stocks. And otherwise you're just, you know what I mean? It just looks silly, right?
Yeah.
It's like going asking a beautiful girl out for a date and you don't own a car. Well, I love her. It doesn't matter. It just looks silly. You need a fucking dope car to get a good girl. Otherwise, she's probably not that good. You know what I mean? The stock's not that good. Like, you know, it's like that.
Do you think you should buy your wife a car?
Yeah. You got to spoil your girl. You just give her all the money. Otherwise, what do you need her for? You know what I mean? Like, every man needs a home. What's a home? It's just a happy wife. So you just gotta go out, pile all the money up, let her spend it however she wants.
If you lost everything and you had to make $1 million and all you had was your knowledge, what would you do?
All my ideas, they're not my ideas, man. American Kitchen Company wasn't my idea. The drilling, I'm not an ideas guy. I'm just a guy that, I've lived in London, I've lived in Australia, I've lived in America, I lived in Canada. I'm just a guy that knows, and I went to university. I've just been many places, and it doesn't matter where I go, I'm in charge. So what am I doing? Like, I don't know. If God wants me to sell hot dogs, like if we're, you know what I mean? If I'm hanging out with the boys and they're like, oh, there's this opportunity here, like, all right, I'm taking over. Like, whatever it is I'm doing, I'm gonna bully my way to like who's in charge here? Like, okay, cut that guy's head off. Now I'm in charge. So it's like, it's more like that than like, you know what I mean? Like coming up with some master plan. I'm just not that guy. I'm just a guy that wakes up. I go out to go get the money's out there, right? Money's not in here. It's out there. So I go out there, and when I'm out there, who knows, man? It's a fucking jungle out there, right? So like, who knows where the opportunity is tomorrow, or like every day is different. But one thing I know is just I add value. So if you're selling hot dogs and I'm on your team, you're invincible now. If you're fucking got a t-shirt company and I become a part of it, it's a t-shirt company on crack, right? Like, I'm not doing something, like I'm very, 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 very competitive to a point where it's like to the death almost. You know what I mean? It's like a different, not like a sport. You know how like sports guys are competitive? Well, there's a level above that.
Business?
Like, exactly. Like, I'm not coachable. Like, I'm not listening. I'm fucking coming in and I'm just results driven. I don't want to fucking hear it. Where's the money? And I want to see it. I want to see the fucking results, and I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I want to fucking see it. And I want to call everybody out who's getting in the way of getting the money. You know what I mean? Because that happens a lot in business. People are just there because they need a job. You know what I mean? There's people getting in the way. So you got to be able to spot them and cut them out, like, not just in business, in your personal life too. Just fucking people in the way.
What do parents not understand about their kids these days?
Ah, man, that's yeah, not much, man. The way I see it is, it's like with animals. Like, there's only 10% of animals are in the top, right? It's just genetics. So like, I think it's the same with kids. I've got kids and I see it, like 90% of the kids are just going to be fail. You know what I mean? It's just like, you look around your life, 90% of your friends are probably not doing too good. They're just fucking, well, it's the same for kids. And, they just, the parents, they just got dopey kids, man. There's not much they can do.
What's your net worth now, and what do you want it to be in 10 years?
So American Kitchen Company is worth about 15 mil valuation based off of 20 million a year revenue. So conservatively, like, I'm not looking to sell, but I've been approached by an investor in Silicon Valley, and he gave me an evaluation of 15 million, and he had like all these reports, and but he wanted half my company. He wanted to give me like 7 mil for 50, like, but he wanted to be a controlling position, 51%. Not interested. If somebody came to me with 15 million, like, maybe I would walk. I just believe I'm Amazon proof. Amazon can't take me out. You can't buy what I sell on Amazon. I sell like, so like, when you get rich, you you don't want a normal car. You want a car that no one else can buy. And so it's the same for your home. Like, you want your home, like, when you're rich, like, if you're a really successful doctor, you want to show that you're not like the other doctors. And how do you do that? Like, you got a dope kitchen. You got like, so I have I have a product that's never going to go away. I've got a competitive, so I'm just not planning on selling it. And then I produce about 600,000 kilos of Saladete tomatoes in the state of Hidalgo in Mexico. So I'm almost at year 4 now of farming. So that operations, that's about 4 million a year. So I'd value that business at 5 million. So that's 20 million. And then I've got about 3 million in cash. I got about $500,000 in the market right now. And I've got a home that's worth about 2 mil. I got, I tell people about 20 mil, right? I'm worth about 20 mil, not liquid, right? If I actually wanted to like make 20 million appear, it wouldn't be like that. It would probably take a while, but I could make liquid $5 million appear within 24. If you had a deal, I could have $5 million in your bank account 24 hours. So, and in 10 years, I would like to say at least 100 mil, right? At least I'm 43 and I'm pretty much everywhere I go, I'm the smartest guy in the room, right? And so the only guys smarter than me are like in their 60s. So like in 10 years from now, they're all dead. Like once you turn 70 years old, you can't leave the home. You're too ugly. Like you just fucking, you know what I mean? It's over. So I think I'm going to reign here for the next, this is going to be my highest earning potential in the next 20 years, because my current biggest competitors are all they just won't be able to compete with me physically or mentally. Just their time's up, right? So 40 to 60 is like when man's in his prime, right? It's like when he's the smartest. So I'm just coming into that, and it feels that way. You know what I mean? 43 years old, I feel like no one's got my experience. It's like reps, you know what I mean? No one's got those reps.
How much debt do you have?
350K, 350,000.
Personal or business?
Business. Personal, I have no debt. And I'm borrowing now, and I might take on more debt. I'm borrowing right now to give you an idea of like how crazy I can get, because my business is powerful, right? Like people want to throw money at me. To borrow 100,000, it only costs me 5,000 as long as I pay it back in 6 months. So think about that. So for every 100, I could pick up the phone right now, have $100,000, and it's only going to cost me $5,000. So it's like I figured out how to it's like I have unlimited access to money. Nobody, like not many people, unless you're a big corp, like you have to be a major corporation. Like you personally wanted to borrow 100 grand right now, it's going to cost you a lot more, and you're going to have like ridiculous paperwork. You know what I mean? I can just screenshot 1 month of my bank account to any finance guy, and like, you know what I mean? When you're doing 20 million a year, they know you can pay back. Like fucking, they're not too worried, right?
Do you think Americans should take out personal loans?
Yeah, borrow as much money as you can, right? Borrow as much money as you can at a reasonable rate, right? But if you don't have access to money, don't borrow. So it's like if I go to buy, so a lot of people, they go buy a car at 8%. It's like, dude, don't finance at 8%. Like I'm financing at 3%, right? That's why I finance. If it cost me 8%, I would pay cash. You know what I mean? Like the people don't understand. They don't understand that side of money, right? Like what an advantage it is to get money cheap, like buying money cheap. And that's really the biggest advantage rich people have over poor people. Like they can pick up the phone and make $1 million appear, and it costs them a couple grand. Post to fucking Joe Smo, he's got to put his house up. He's got to find the sinus. You know what I mean? It's a major competitive advantage having access to capital.
What would your dream deal be if someone called you up and said, I need $1 million, what would it have to look like for it to be something you would do without
it
thinking much about it?
it would be less about the deal and more about the person, right? I would have to um I'd have to look at you as an equal, right? So I'm not handing over $1 million to anyone inferior to me. Like it, you need to have a big brain to manage $1 million. And a lot of guys think they can, but they can't, right? Like $1 million, you should be able. If I had $1 million, bro, you gave me $1 million, I'm turning it into $5 million. So if I don't think you have the brain power, like I got to look at your personal, like I got to size you up. Like if you don't have a solid track record of doing that, you're not. I don't care what you're fucking selling. Like you're not, like, for me, everything's just about results. Like I need to see who you are as a guy, and I'm just judging you by your results. I don't really care about your pitch. Like I want to see you. You know what I mean? Show me what you've done lately.
What's the most money you've ever made in a day?
I honestly don't know the answer to that question. It's, I've made 100 grand in a day. I did 200 grand live on TikTok. That's what blew me up. I wasn't on TikTok and I just lived my trade and it fucking went up. So DWAC, I turned 25 G's into like 180 in a day. And everyone's like, you know what I mean? And that's what kind of got me down this like social media TikTok little deal where it's like, you know what I mean? I showed, at the end of the day, the way I judge people, people judge me. It's results, bro. Like people, like it's a lot of like, you know what I mean? Like these sales guys, like they tell you like, this is how you get ready. I don't see it like that, dude. You just see it like you got to fucking work like a dog and then you got to pile up a ton of wins and you just show people. You don't really need to talk that much. You know what I mean? You got to show you got to show through your work.
So what's the most you've ever lost in a day?
Again, would be in the 100,000, but like I want to answer that question by just changing it from a day to like a 3-month period. So in 3 months, I lost $6 million in 3 months. Ended up in the hospital. I was 32 years old. Lost $6 million over 3 months. And just fucking heart attack. Boom. Landed in the fucking hospital. Lost everything. Literally lost everything. And I showed up to California completely flat fucking broke with a newborn baby and a girlfriend that was pregnant. And I lived in fucking ghetto ass apartment for 3 years as I built my business. Completely broke. And just put all my money into all I did was work for 3 years straight, every day. Right. And the reason I was like that, I knew I had it in me, is because I got that from the drilling business. So one thing I learned out of the drilling business, I'm stronger than everybody. Like nobody could work. I literally couldn't hire people that could keep up with me. Nobody could work like that. I could work for like 3 days straight. So like my shop was in Nevada, but I had a job in Idaho. So I had 2 semi trucks going back and forth. And if I could do the job in 3 days instead of 5 days, I would make $10,000, right? Because I'm saving it on all these costs. So finding a truck driver that would stay awake with me for 3 days, I'm like, bro, I'll give you $5,000 for 3 days work. All you got to do is stay up and work. This guy's a brick, right? So like I have that in, like, I know at any time I don't need to go on vacation. Like I'm just not like that. I'm like goal focused. And like when I focus on a goal, there's like, it's like a breed of dog. Like once I got the scent, I can like go until I just like pass out. And so it's like that.
What does a rich man look for in a woman?
Well, I don't know if it has to do with rich. I can only say from my personality, what I'm looking for, is I just think, I think a man needs a, I think every man needs a home, right? I think a man needs a home. And so me personally, I like a woman who likes to want to make a home. You know what I mean? Like make a home. Like, so when you're at home, it's like a nice, like, I like being home. You know what I mean? So it's like, to run a home, it's like, it's a type, right? It's like some people don't want to run a home. They just want to eat out every meal and they want to go party. Like, I want a girl who wants that same goal, like home ownership, like security, like yeah, just a dope house. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm looking for, number one. And then after that, I guess being funny. You know what I mean? Like I like I this is like with your friends. Like, what are you looking for in your friends? Like, okay, they got to have common, like all my friends, like we have common goals, right? Like all my friends are like, yeah, it's like work. It's like it's a type, you know what I mean? And then after that, it's like, who's the funniest? You know what I mean? Like, who can have the most fun at work? So it's kind of like the same at the home. Like, I want a girl that's like focused on like raising kid, you know what I mean? Having a good home and then having fun at the home, right? Like laughing at movies and just, you know, sense of humor, I guess.
Oh yeah. Well, I want to thank you for doing this. I'm going to chop it up. I'll put captions, I'll put titles on it, put it on social media. You see anything on social media with your face, your name on it, and something you don't like about it, you let me know. I take it down 24 hours.
Yeah, man, I'm pretty open book. So if I said it, I'm cool with it being out there.
Cool, man. Thanks
All right.
again.
All right.
Peace.
Bye.